I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
Indeed, a child shall lead them. Now, the time has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. We are listening to Light Bearer, the entire freaking record. Woo!
And mine doesn't sound so good.
This is brought to you by the big homie DJ Mark. Speaking of DJ Mark, we got to bring the homie on for a little bit. We're going to bring the homie on for a little bit. You know, just get him to share with us while he's sharing with us. Get it?
Well played.
Y'all ain't on it. Y'all ain't on it. Okay. So DJ Mark is coming on. We're going to have a little get to know the DJ segment, and then we're going to go right into it. You losers. Mark, there is the link. This is the link that Jambi never selects because he never wants to come on.
Facts.
Shout out to Jambi. Shout out to Jambi. Ain't no hate for Jambi, bro. And there is Mark jumping right on. DJ Mark. We'll add him. Let's see. We'll add him right. We'll add him on the right side. And then we can see if there's an echo or anything like that on our DJ stream. And then, you know. It is what it is. All right. Guest is in the room. I don't want him in. There he is. Say something.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Now, what I want to do,
Vinny.
what I want to do is ask the beautiful people if there is an echo on Mark's side. That's what happened when we did the Jimmy Dore interview. Son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. I'm so mad at myself for that. Okay. So what's up, bro?
Not much.
So
this is probably the, I think, 3rd time coming on.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, you look familiar.
And you are the blessed soul who got us into Lightbearer in the first place. You see that? That's gonna die in a second. Yep. Okay, so how did you find this band? What happened?
Through Spotify, I was looking at bands similar to other bands that I liked, and they came up. Actually, like the band for the shirt I'm wearing now, Cult of Luna, ISIS, things like that. Which I know you've done quite a few ISIS songs, so
okay.
That's how I found them.
And have you been able to connect with this band at all? Like talk to them or whatever?
No.
So
no.
you're just a straight up. Is this a black metal band? Are they classified as black metal?
Post metal.
Okay, now what the hell is that?
It's another fancy way of saying atmospheric sludge.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, I feel like this is my favorite post-metal band. Have we heard a bad song from them?
We haven't. And that's what Mark and I were talking about today. We were like, now we're going to listen to the album and see if they perhaps do have a bad song.
Yeah, because the last couple ones, they've all been like 9.9s or 10s or whatever, right?
Yes, I'm super excited to get into it.
The two albums do make a story together. So this one obviously takes place after the first one that you've done almost every but one song on the first album, and in order. So this will take place off after the fall, obviously.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so the first record is basically Lucifer and God is a tyrant, and Lucifer's like, hey, God, stop being so mean. And God's like, no, fuck you, I'm going to be mean. And then he throws him out of... Is that basically the idea of album one?
That's an abridged version, yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell us, okay, so, and this is after the fall. So is it after Satan's fall or Adam and Eve's fall?
Satan's fall. And essentially, I don't want to give too much away, but in the beginning, it's him dealing with being in hell for the first time and trying to build a life there. And then he's looking for a champion, and he feels that a woman would be the best champion.
Oh, well, this is excellent.
Okay.
Okay, Mark, one quick question. If you could say one thing to the band, what would you say to them?
Get back together, do the last album.
Okay.
There you have it. You
That's
heard it here first.
DJ Mark has spoken.
Yep.
Listen, band.
Chop,
okay?
chop.
Famous music experts.
Listen to us.
Mark from YouTube and Vincent and Sori have commanded you
Yes.
to finish the last record. And,
Yes.
and that's that.
Us from the ghetto.
Maybe you'll, yeah. Oh, I have so many names. Okay. All right. Thank you very freaking much. Say something to the village before you peace out, big homie.
Enjoy it and rock out, I guess.
All right, man.
All right, thanks for coming on, Mark.
We'll definitely do that. Thanks, Mark. There you go. Get to know your DJ. Get to know your DJ,
That
ladies
was
and
fun.
gents.
That was a good little
Sharing-
touch that Vinny came up with.
Sharing is caring, losers. All right. Let's go. The time has arrived.
Here we go. The first song on the list is Beautiful Is This Burden.
Beautiful is this burden.
Is that how you feel about me, Vinny?
Trizak. I'm sorry?
Is that how you feel about me? Moving right along.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Okay, guys, that was song 1. Light Bearer, Beautiful Is This Burden. You can see the little set list right there, guys. See? We got everything set up for y'all so y'all can follow along. I'm also doing my best to put the lyrics up there because you know what? Vocals like this and with the music, sometimes you can get lost in the music. So that's that. Okay, guys, believe it or not, that was 18 minutes. Shout out to my brother Tasco in the house. Shout out to the big homie. What are you thinking about, sir?
Ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
What?
That song was 18 minutes.
I know. These guys do mega long songs, and they always feel like 3-minute joints. And they have such a good balance between, just, good vocals, good lyrics, and letting the time, letting people soak in the music, which I think
transitions and just
we talked about a band a couple days ago, and they were a prog band, and the criticism was it's like one of the criticisms I had was that the transitions were very choppy. And I was talking about how with Tool, when Tool transitions, like you're doing one thing at one tempo with one scale, and then 30 seconds later, you're in a completely different place, and you don't know how you got there.
Exactly.
And so that other band, I don't even know the name of the band. That's how much of an impact they had on us. That other band was horrible at it. They just kept doing all these lead changes and rhythm changes, but there was no transitional piece. It was like a 5-year-old just threw everything against the wall. But this band, like, the transitions were great. And there were still some jagged moments. Like the beginning kind of put you to bed, and then they started off the song actually with the drum. With the drummer like splashing into the original.
That was shocking.
So it's like
that was the one transition that shocked me.
Yeah, like they had enough like jarring things to where like
I was like somewhere else, and then it was like
you couldn't
reality.
Yeah, like you couldn't get comfortable in the song because
you didn't know where it was going.
They would throw that in there every once in a while, and they would wake you up. So sonically, I just think that these guys are
next level. It's incredible.
It's one of those bands where they do long songs, and it's like, but they had to do a long song.
Yeah, it doesn't feel pretentious.
Yeah.
Any tissues. It was a little emotional for me.
I'll
be right back.
Yeah. Why does all this happen? Some 2-minute long songs feel like 18 minutes. That was Imagine for me. Imagine felt like 85 minutes. But no, this band isn't together anymore, unfortunately. But these guys are certified badasses. Holy moly. I mean, I just, some bands are really good with the musicianship. Other bands are great with lyrics. This band is great with both of them. It's just unbelievably good. And, we were talking about, Metal Mama was talking about how some 2-minute songs feel like they're 18 minutes and some 18-minute songs feels like they're 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about Imagine. Imagine felt like a 55-minute song to me.
Ridiculous. I mean, this...
And it's so funny. People are like, Vin is just pissed at the no religion line as we're reviewing an entire record about the devil being cast as a good guy. No, that Imagine song was just terrible. Yeah. I will take this song over Imagine any day of the week.
But see, that goes to that guy's information on like facts and stuff, how people find their own facts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so this kind of has a Paradise Lost type theme, right? Where you're looking at the fall from the perspective of the devil. So the first record was, and we basically did the first record, like all the songs that were requested. The first record was about the devil, basically, or Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, or Venus, because that's what Lucifer is named after. It's a different story. But he's beefing with a god or whatever. God's too much of a dictator or whatnot. And he's like, yo, I think that the idea was like, let's try to get a democracy in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he gets kicked out. So then he ends up in hell, right? And then this is him like waking up in hell, basically, and all the people that followed him. So lyrically, that is where we start off. So... Okay. Language, skin, invigorate, our vacant lot extend to us a gratitude so that we may bestow purpose upon thyself. So they got cast down, and look, our vacant lot extend to us a gratitude. So you remember where it says
like hell is calling,
Sheol beneath.
Yeah. Wow.
It opens its mouth to greet you, etc., etc.
Interestingly enough, the Bible also says that hell was created for the devil and his angels.
Right.
And so they called it our vacant lot extend. So
Right.
they called it theirs.
Right. And then obviously in the intertestamental literature, you have, shout out to the homie Shem Yaza. Shout out to Azazel. CEB's talking about Samael.
Hi, Daniel.
So yeah, that whole crew got cast down, and so they wake up basically in this vacant lot, and I guess it's one of those things where you have to make a house a home. So you got to kind of like build hell, kind of build up build up your king. You got to build up your, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
I think this is coming from the perspective that hell is like the devil's domain or something.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, biblically, hell is not the devil's domain.
No.
Because your domain is the area that you dominate.
Right.
The devil doesn't dominate hell.
No.
As a matter of fact, they're scared to death of hell. But I was doing that to be ironic. We, the inverted host. Okay, so the inverted host would be the host of angels, because host in the Old Testament context almost always references
that is not what I thought.
God's army in a military context. So when he's called Yahweh of hosts, for example, that is Yahweh in the form of a warrior. When he talks about the Lord of hosts, that's Yahweh as warrior. Yahweh has a lot of different forms. He's kind of like a shapeshifter in the Old Testament. Sometimes he's a midwife who delivers babies, scripturally speaking. Sometimes he's a father. Sometimes he's a friend. Sometimes he takes the form of an angel. Mm-hmm. When he takes the form of a warrior, he's called a Lord of hosts, because the idea is that, he's at the front of the army, and then he's got his crew behind him,
and he has a tattoo upon his thigh.
So they're the inverted hosts. They would be the ops on the other side.
Yeah, I thought that had to do with the Catholics call communion the host, an inverted host. I thought that's what they were going with that.
Yeah, that's because the whole transubstantiation stuff.
Yeah,
which is that's OT.
Unhallowed magnitude divided by our deeds resulted in internment. So, depending on what they did, they got divided up into groups down there.
What do you mean? Say that again.
The next lines.
We, the inverted hosts, unhallowed magnitude divided by our deeds resulted in internment. Yeah, right? That you're punished in hell to the degree of your, of your badness or whatnot. And then, of course,
holy moly, did you see this, babe? He says, I have gleaned truths in
primeval forms, the absence of his mark has left me with no choice.
But the elect angels, that whole idea?
Yeah.
Does this guy know anything about that? Where do you think he was going with it? So there's this idea that everything that is created always streams...
Hold on for a second.
What?
Yeah, CB, yeah, I'm with you. That's why I said Lucifer or Venus or whatever, because Lucifer is not in the original Hebrew. Of course not. So I agree with you. And the term Satan in the Old Testament is a title. It's not a personal noun. It's not a name, right? So, like for example, in Job chapter 1, when it says, in your English Bible, it'll say Satan was also there, yada yada yada. But in the actual Hebrew, it says Ha-Satan, and Ha functions like a definite article, like the. So literally, it is the Satan came, yada, 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 to accuse Job. And so the idea is, there's a lot of folks that think, and I'm kind of 50-50 on it, that it's not the devil as in like the personal devil, like from the New Testament. Rather, it was like literally the devil's advocate or the contrarian. So the idea is that if everything is perfect and the person has no adversity, then you can't really know whether or not their faith is real. And so the function of the devil's advocate in the heavenly court was to create a situation in which that resistance was encountered to test the faith of the person.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So Ha-Satan in Job doesn't necessarily mean like the devil as in like the devil. It could have been actually a good angel whose job it was to simply,
test them,
create that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really, really, really interesting stuff. Okay.
So there's this idea that everything, once it's created, naturally takes a bend toward it is going to decompose, it's going to go backwards, it's going to fall apart. Unless God puts his mark on it to keep it in a certain way, it will naturally turn. And so there's the idea that there are certain angels that had a mark that would keep them in the way, otherwise they would have gone. And so the ones that didn't have the mark obviously followed Satan and they fell from heaven, which I'm not sure if this guy knows about that, but he says the absence of his mark has left me with no choice, which is interesting because people always look at it as do you see the phrase?
Yeah.
The mark has left him with no choice. The absence of the mark has left him with no choice.
Well, it depends. It depends on how he's using the term mark. So, for example, in Ezekiel, the good guys were marked. Mm-hmm. Right? So the death angels show up and Yahweh says...
Right, the absence of his mark. That's what I was going with that.
Yeah, just everybody who grieves over the sins of Jerusalem, put a mark on them and basically don't kill them. Everybody else, execute them, right? So in the Old Testament context, the mark was good. In the New Testament context, you had a separate sort of layer on top of it because you had, slavery. Mm-hmm. And so they would brand you. They would literally mark you many times with the seal of the particular household that you belong to. Like you can almost see this in Spartacus, that TV show, where you were in the house of Batiatus, so you were branded with the symbol of Batiatus. Mm-hmm. And so to take the mark in the New Testament context meant that you were a slave of either the bad guys or the good guys. So in the New Testament, both sides are marked. So there's a mark of the beast in Revelation 13, but then there's also the mark of the Lamb on the foreheads of those who believe. Mm-hmm. And so the term mark can go either way. It can be the absence of the mark basically means that he's now he's got no choice because now his fate is sealed because he hasn't been selected as one of the good guys because God has said, okay, you're no longer part of the team, you're no longer part of the family. So he's basically saying, well, if I'm no longer on the part of the team, then there's nothing else I could do. Mm-hmm. I have no choice but to do this now. Yeah. I have no choice but to oppose you now because I'm speaking from the devil's perspective and the people who obviously feel sorry for him. You created this bifurcated system like we complain about with Democrats and Republicans. I refused to be part of it, so now you kick me out. So, yeah, right? Now, obviously, from a Christian perspective, I don't believe that that's what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't believe that, look, man, there are some people who make decisions to leave families. And he made that decision. To leave that family. He made the decision to take up arms against his father. And so you can't, what happened was, that's what Jesus said. He said, listen, if you're going to war, you know that phrase, count the cost, that everybody talks about so much. Well, the context of that, it was in the context of a dude going to war. That's what count the cost was. And so it's one of those things where from our worldview, we're going to say, well, look, you miscalculated, bro. You went to and some of you silly people miscalculate in real life, and it's not going to go well for you. Mm-hmm. So, like, right here, like, he miscalculated and he lost.
Right.
And then he ended up in a vacant lot with his boys. Shout out to Shem Yaza.
Right. So there's three
Shout
marks.
Shout out to Azazel.
Yeah. There's the good mark. There's the bad mark. And there's DJ Mark. Put the sound, Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make a joke.
Oh, okay.
Okay. To turn my ears away to shut my eyes forever and open up anew upon a humble plight, the quality of renewal. Adept we wax and wane, transitory and glorious, fortifying life's reach.
Yeah, so the quality of renewal. So he's saying, hey, this is a new beginning.
Yeah.
Right? So he says, to turn my ears away, shut my eyes forever, and open up anew upon our humble plight. So he's in these two verses, he's saying, we're not going to let this get us down. We're going to keep grinding. And it's really interesting because there had to be my perspective on the fall of Satan or Lucifer, whatever people want to say, is a lot different than that. I think I'm probably the only. Well, I don't know, but basically, scripturally speaking, there are multiple angelic falls. We see one clearly in the garden. There's obviously one at the Tower of Babel. There's obviously one before the flood. If you look at the intertestamental literature that Applejack was talking about, where it kind of fills in some of the blanks, especially in the Enochian literature, where it talks about Shemyaza and those boys teaching people how to do war and all the rest of it. So, like, it's one of those things where, like, it looks like they end up on the ground and they kind of look around and they're like, all right, we got to build something, right? And this is an alternative reality, an alternative thing to belong to, and they're excited. You know what I'm saying? They're excited. The quality of renewal, unbridled by a master with every step we take, he closer courts jester, the jester takes a bow. So now they're doing this whole like anarchy thing. And what's really interesting is a lot of Christians believe that the devil is sort of like this unquestioned leader.
Yeah.
In the angelic realm or the demonic realm. And I just don't think you have enough scriptural proof for that. I don't think you have enough scriptural proof to say this particular guy runs a shop and nobody questions him and all the rest of it. I think just like you have egos and all the rest of it with at the human level, I think the same thing applies at the spiritual level. I don't think that they're all just sitting there like saluting the devil and like submitting to him and following his orders and all that without questioning him. I don't there's no biblical case for that at all. Especially when you look at the Danielic literature about, for example, the Prince of Persia and then the Prince of Greece.
Yeah.
Well, those were both not godly. They were not on God's team, but they were obviously fighting each other because the Persians and the Greeks had beef, right?
Yeah.
So they fight each other and they fight for supremacy just like human beings do. So this like well-ordered machine that the devil has, I'm not particularly certain that that's true. Otherwise, we ended up with Biden. I feel like they'd be a lot... You know what I'm saying? Like if those boys were organized.
You're just saying. Oh boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they were like that organized and stuff, we wouldn't have had Trump and Biden as our back-to-back presidents, right? I really enjoyed this song. I really enjoyed it, and I know that you enjoyed the song as well, guys.
I did.
The next song is Amalgam that's coming up. I don't know if I want to give them individual scores or an overall score.
I think he wants a score over. He wants a score after each, and then an overall album score.
All right, go ahead. Give this one.
Okay, so I didn't want to give the first one a very high score because I kind of wanted, something to, but I can't. I loved it. It was a 10 for me. It took me a lot of places. This song, I shut my mic off because I didn't want to disturb you guys' experience. But this one is really fun to harmonize with as he's doing his vocals.
Yes.
I love that desperate sound. You guys know how much I love those desperate vocals. And then just musically what they did, the violin in it, it kind of kept taking you places. And it did feel like the feel of a new beginning. Out of tragedy, sort of the Phoenix Rising sort of feel to it. I like it when a song kind of has that, not super happy. Woo. I do like that kind of music sometimes. I do. I like melancholy though. And so when I have a song like that, but then it also has that kind of rising feeling to it, it's just the best of both worlds. So this was a 10 for me.
A 10.
I know. Started the first one off as a 10.
Yeah.
Mark, what are you doing?
That
It's just such art. There's such art in this.
Very, very strong opening. Very strong opening.
Beautiful.
And I just that to me, like, I'm very, very big on that. I'm big on the first line in the first song has to be massive.
Yep.
That's a big rule for me. And the title of the song also has to communicate something, right? So
beautiful is this burden. I love the title name. It's a 10 for me. What are you giving it?
I didn't tell you yet. Anthony, send us an email, vinandsori@gmail.com. I'm going to give this song a 9.8. Really, really good song. Yeah, I was trying to avoid giving it a 10. The problem is that you did a song for 18 plus minutes and it literally felt like 3 minutes. Like we've listened to long songs here, you know, once in a while and stuff, and like I check the comment section, you know, I'm like completely focused on the music. Sometimes I look at the comment section, you'll see people going, "Oh my God," and the song. You know, somebody will say, like, one time Sean said, 3 minutes too long. Bro, nobody was saying that shit on this song. No. Bro. Everybody was like, why did it end so soon? So, I try to avoid giving 10s, but my concern is these guys are just going to continue to do this the entire record. I know. And then we're just going to give 10s on every song. It is what it is. If they do work like that. It's just going to be corny.
If they do work like that, it is what it is. What else are we going to do? So, anyway, it's a 10. It's a 10 for both of us.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.